Why this story matters. While challenges remain, stories like this demonstrate that constructive action can make a real difference. Quick summary: this story highlights recent developments related to women, showing how constructive action can lead to meaningful results. Teehee public spaces in Nantes, a city along the Loire River in the west of France, might at first glance seem just like those in any other part of Europe. Across the city, there are numerous bike lanes, bustling fresh produce markets, and pretty historic squares. But on closer inspection, there are signs of a profound attempt to make the city, its facilities, and its built environment a more equitable place for women. Hundreds of streets now bear the names of women, including Josephine Baker, Frida Kahlo, and Sia Mintz-Lefebvre, the little-known creator of local specialty Beurre Blanc sauce. Schoolyards, once dominated by soccer pitches, have been remodeled to incorporate spaces for calm and creativity. Stations for breastfeeding have been built in the city centre to improve maternal comfort and visibly counter stigma. Free tampon dispensers have been installed in libraries, gyms, and all kinds of other municipal buildings. Would you like to read more good news about women, France, women's rights, cities, towns, and urbanism? The new boulevard Gilles Hallemagne, named after the feminist lawyer 1920, is located in the Prairie district on the Ile de Nantes. Credit Patrick Galcan, Nantes Metropole. These initiatives form part of Mayor Johanna Rowland's bold plan to make Nantes, which is home to around 700,000 people and is the sixth largest city in France, a real non-sexist or non-sexist city. From redesigning public areas to reallocating spending and inaugurating France's leading centre to counter gender-based violence, Nantes is trailblazing the way to safer, less discriminatory urban life. We couldn't wait for change anymore. We had to take action, says Mahat Bertou, the deputy mayor of Nantes in charge of equality, the fight against discrimination, and the non-sexist city project. Femicides continue every year. Women suffer harassment every day. To make change, we had to take a hold of the problem ourselves. Shortly after taking power in 2014, Roland and her team set about carrying out research and compiling statistics on the extent of inequality in Nantes, since at that point limited information existed. The findings of the research, which included income, violence, and public spaces, were striking. Analysis found, for example, that of the 3,000 streets in Nantes, fewer than 4% of them were named after women, compared with more than 36% bearing men's names. More broadly, that found that in 2014, 58% of women aged 15 to 64 were employed, compared to 68% of men, and women represented 70% of the so-called working poor, those in employment, but below the poverty line. From that understanding, city authorities went about introducing women-centered policy and ramping up investment. One of the most pressing issues was responding to gender-based violence. In France, 99% of women have been victims of a sexist comment or act at least once in their lives, according to the French High Council for Equality, an independent advisory body. Far from declining, sexism is becoming entrenched, even increasing, its 2024 report concluded. In November 2019, following years of consultation with residents, women's rights groups, and non-profits, the city opened Citadels, a shelter for women victims of violence that provides free, centralized support to infant and in something that to this day does not exist anywhere else in France. Before, women would have to travel to multiple places across the city to reach the services Citadels provides, with some often closed on weekends. But the opening of the 700 square meter facility, which houses 18 non-profits offering legal and psychological services, medical care, art and dance workshops, among many others, means that high-quality support is provided in a central location within one building. Citadels provides free, around-the-clock support for women victims of violence. Credit Christine Blanchard, Nantes Metropole. Since its launch, Citadels, into which the city invested more than 1 million, has provided services to more than 5,500 women, with an average of 3 new users per day. Around 450 women are seen for follow-up appointments each month. Everything was on their shoulders, and we wanted to change that, says Caroline Goddard, manager of the custom design facility, which has bespoke lighting and noise insulation to help create a calming space for those who often arrive in a very emotional state, and adjoining spaces for children with a view of their mother when they are receiving care. Here, we respond to all types of violences, physical, of course, but also gendered violence at the workplace or administrative violence, such as immigrants without the right to work. Teehee City has also sought to address the often overlooked realm of outdoor spaces when it comes to gender inequality. Following an open call for suggestions, 188 more women's names have been added to city landmarks such as streets and public facilities, nearly trebling the total over the previous 2 centuries. It's about sending a message, says Sarah Caquano, the city's head of public policy for the non-sexist city projects, as we stroll through the historic centre. Representation in public spaces impacts us and how we perceive ourselves. Women deserve to be showcased in the streets, in museums and galleries. Nearby, we pass the Pride Steps, a staircase painted in rainbow colours. Long an emblem of the LGBTQ community, in Nantes, it was officially renamed by the City Hall in March 2025, underlining authorities' broader approach to inclusivity. That was further emphasised by the decision to hold a drag show this summer in the city's 15th century castle, CHO and de Bretagne. It's important for us to confront our history with our present, says Caquino. The city also contributes to the financing of home and accommodation and social support system for LGBTQ people aged 18 to 25 who have been excluded from their families. A few hundred